Since the dawn of time, mankind has looked up to the sky, to the sun, our star, bringing us light, warmth, vital to our existence. But every once in a while, for reasons unknown to our ancestors, the sun disappeared. Why?
If there's a war going on or if there's a drought going on.
Or maybe
they also say that it's God in the heavens, right? This is a natural event that is being caused by God. And medieval Europeans think that it is a
scientific reason behind a rare solar eclipse.
When the moon covers up the sun, the sky turns a sort of royal blue-black color. 360 degrees around, sunlight from outside of the shadow zone is filtering in, so it appears like a sunrise and a sunset on the horizon.
And today, that is what our country will witness.
We see this phenomenal event in the sky. We're having that same sense of awe, that think about all the people who came before us that saw this, and then all the people in the future. And that's why I think we want to come together in large numbers to watch it communally, because we're part of mankind always watching these events. We always look up for them.
Solar Eclipse 2024.
Oh, I have chills now. Let's take you outside, a live look at Indianapolis on a historic day. This doesn't happen often. A total solar eclipse. 13 states significantly touched by the path of totality.
Yeah, that was the Brickyard there as they're getting ready to view it from the path of totality there. Let's go to Dallas now. Millions have flocked to cities spread out across the zone. This is the view in Dallas, up to, of course, the sun, the moon, partially blocking it, maybe 50% right there to catch what could be a sight of a lifetime.
In Dallas, they were concerned about cloudy conditions and storms, but it looks fantastic there. We are going to be here with you, bringing you live pictures, expert analysis, and all the fun as Americans look to the sky to view a rare phenomenon. So we are so glad you decided to spend your time with us for our astronomy party, if you will. I'm Sheba Russell.
I'm Jason Martinez, a rare 2 o'clock newscast to bring you this, what some believe is this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to view this eclipse. It will move northeast, traveling from Texas all the way upward toward Vermont. So here's the national map. There's the trek it will go, the shadow, if you will. And you know, that narrow path there, it isn't that narrow. It's 115 miles wide, but I guess relatively speaking, it's narrow. And so they will experience total coverage here in Philly, not quite part of that path of totality, about 88% coverage. We can zoom in on the northeastern United States and see that places like Rochester, New York, which we'll hear from very momentarily, and Buffalo, New York, also in the path. The eclipse will move across the portion of the U.S. Austin, Texas, be in totality about 2:36, so about 33 minutes away. Dallas, then about 2:40, will be in the in total darkness, if you will. Indianapolis, then at 3:06. Then Rochester, New York, has its totality event at 3:20, followed by Burlington, Vermont, at 3:26.
The little countdown clock right there in the corner of your screen. Rochester is where we find our own Mike Jarek. And Mike, you're already making friends out there.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. We've had a blast. Jared is my photographer. We've had a blast getting up here. It took 6 hours. And, you know, there were clear skies here about 3 hours ago. Now I can't see any impression of the sun at all. So this may be the only eclipse you're going to get from this live shot out of Rochester. Jared, the cameraman. Total. That's probably going to be about it after a 6-hour drive from Philadelphia. Actually, I figured out a way to make some money. I will do individual eclipses. Hello, folks. Okay. Now, hold on. The eclipse is coming now. Are you ready?
3:20. It lasts for 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
Totality.
And
and it's over. That's only, I'm charging $1. $1. Good to see you guys.
That'll be the gas money that you need to come back, Mike.
That's right. But we'll look up at the sun. It's, believe it or not, it's right in that mass. So we don't even see a white dot anymore.
I have a feeling that...
Do I still get paid to do this?
Yes, you do, actually. Great job, Jared.
So
you know,
ours is kind of a bust.
If the photographer gig doesn't pan out, you can always be the moon in your spare time.
That's true. Do you want a private eclipse? Yeah. Here, just look right there. Totality. How was that?
So, Mike, for all the folks who are just now joining us, what's going on in Rochester? Do they have a party going on there?
Well, at 7 minutes past 2, what time is it right now? Not on my clock.
It is
2:06.
Yeah, 2:06.
At 7, so it started. You should, if the sun was, if the clouds weren't covering it, you'd start to see the first sliver of the shadow at 2:07. And then totality is supposed to come at 3:20. So an hour and a half. It's still a possibility that in an hour and a half we might have some clearance, but it doesn't look good. These are pretty darn thick clouds.
We have an astrophysicist professor and planetary science professor, Mike, with us. I don't know if you can get his mic open.
I apologize.
No, I want to ask him if, and his name is Scott Engel, and we welcome him. I'm just doing this on the fly because can't the weather dramatically change during a solar eclipse?
An eclipse.
It can, due to the amount of energy that's being blocked from the sun now. You're talking about the cloud coverage
Yeah, the
there?
cloud. Can it suddenly clear up is what I'm asking.
Yeah. Can the skies part in a very...
Well, the weather stations would hopefully be able to track that with radar, so you would know that there were at least clearances within the area.
Got it.
So it depends on exactly what the forecast is right now.
But even if it's cloudy, I mean, we're talking darkness there, right? I mean, so it's not a total letdown that Mike's got, you know, a bunch of clouds, right?
Yeah, if you are within the path of totality, you're definitely going to notice that even through the clouds that there's a dimming event going on.
Yeah.
It's still going to be eerie.
Okay. And in that case, do you still need to put the glasses on?
It's filtering through the clouds and everything, so you're not
Okay.
going to be able to stare directly at the sun in that point. You could stare at whatever you believe the brightest point of the cloud coverage is.
This is Mazatlan, Mexico, and they are, that's full totality, right? What do they call those rings around the sun?
Yeah, it's excellent. You can see the corona,
Yeah.
which is the wispy white light that's filtering out through the edges of the moon. And then on the northeast, northwest, you can see those two pinkish.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, yeah, that looks really pretty.
That's from right near the surface, or what we call the photosphere of the sun. That's within the lower layers of its outer atmosphere, and those are most likely either loops of plasma that are arcing above the surface, or some other extended solar features.
These views coming to us from NASA. We should properly introduce
Yes.
you, Dr. Scott Engel, Assistant Professor for Astrophysics and Planetary Science at Villanova University. He is the expert
He
for
is,
the
and
couple
we're gonna-
hours we have here.
Good thing, because I don't want to be
Yeah.
Googling this stuff. So it's great to have you with us. That we were looking there at Indianapolis, back to Mazatlan there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, was it 4 minutes long that they'll be
Yeah.
in total darkness, I guess?
Yeah, one of the longest exposures to it.
Yeah.
All right, there are thousands, tens of thousands on the ground there watching this beautiful view from high above.
Austin would be eventually next, one of the big cities. I mean, we're talking massive influx of tourists who want to be a part of this. So we'll be taking you to all these different cities here over the next hour.
All right, let's turn things over to Drew now. He's on the roof. Raise the roof,
Yeah.
Drew. So how's it looking in Philly? When I came into work today, the sun was shining bright. How's it looking for our partial eclipse here in Philly?
Right now, I'm getting my suntan, but look at this over my shoulder. We also have some thicker clouds. So the sun is playing a little bit of a peekaboo. But here's the thing. The whole 3 p.m. hour for us in our region will look great. Now, the peak of things is at 3:23, but you'll have a lot of the sun gone during that whole hour. So if the sun gets go. So, all right, what if you don't have either the cool eclipse glasses, not sunglasses, these are legit eclipse glasses. I can see the sun there and nothing else. Oh, wow, the eclipse already started. I can see a little piece, a very small piece in the corner missing. In fact, I'll show you what I'm seeing. I have some Post-it notes right now. This is the moon right here. Here's the sun, and I'm seeing that right there. A little piece of the sun is missing on that side, so it looks just like that if you have eclipse glasses to view it safely. Some other things I want to try, and it might be too early for this. I have some household items in case you didn't have glasses to be able to view the eclipse. You get something with circles, like say this right here, or a colander to strain pasta, and as the eclipse goes on, these circles will not look like circles anymore. You'll get to see what the sun looks like. You'll actually get to see a crescent with the sun. And it's not just this. And check out this right here too. So it's the same sort of idea, and you get to see that. All right, ooh, a little bit of a cloud coming over me. And I am not alone on the rooftop here in Philadelphia. We were just looking over there. I see some folks with the eclipse glasses. Hey guys, are you watching the eclipse too? Yeah, I see head nods. Hey, excellent. So we have some friends and some good company up here as we all come out and get ready for the eclipse. Right now, the clouds are broken up. Let's keep our fingers crossed. That continues over the next few hours. And by the way, if you have some snacks in your pantry, I got the finest generic right there. I was going to say Cheerios, but it's not oatmeal. Oatmeal's going to come out for a second. And some generic Cheez-Its. Pinholes in this will actually also project what the sun looks like. So you get a plate or a piece of computer paper, you get a Cheez-It, and what's really cool is through the little hole in the Cheez-It, that little spot will start becoming what the eclipse looks like. And you know what? It's actually showing it. I can see it right now. It's not a perfect circle like it was earlier. That is so cool. I can't wait to see how this develops over the 3 o'clock hour. So that is a check from everything on the rooftop and what you can use to see the eclipse safely. If you don't have some of these, we'll send it back down to you.
I have my glasses out here, but in the studio, it's like total darkness. Can't see anything.
Crispy Oats.
Yeah.
We couldn't break down and get the actual Cheerios. We had to get the knockoffs. Is that what we did?
Listen, got to get the good stuff.
Drew is such a great saver.
Another time.
You know,
Oh, Drew was born for this day, this
Yes, he
assignment.
was.
We love it. Thanks for your insights, Drew. Appreciate it. And we're back with more
Little penny
coverage
pincher.
right after this.
Let's take you back outside. This is a live look at Mazatlan, Mexico. They have been watching this 4-minute period of complete darkness happen for this total eclipse. This is the pathway, this epic sweep across the world, across the country here. And there are tens of thousands of people on the ground watching this live right now as Mazatlan goes into complete darkness. Just a phenomenal celestial event happening right now. And after Mexico, we'll see it then make its way from Texas all the way up north, bending to the northeast as it crosses 13 U.S. states.
That's an iPhone shooting that right there. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, really?
Incredible shot from NASA there. The powerful lens there to get that shot. Show us the little sliver there in Mazatlan. So back here in Philly, you know, we're getting just under 90% coverage here, and Greg Payne's there live along the Parkway. Greg, the Franklin Institute's having a big old party for this.
Yeah, they are definitely having a huge party here. And I mean, I know that you've been, looking at different areas. I mean, Mike's in New York. I've been hearing you talk about other areas, but nobody throws a watch party better than the Philly folks right here, having a great time. You can see the sunglasses are out. Everybody is ready to go. And now, as you mentioned, there's a big watch party that's going on here at the Franklin Institute. And what better way to talk about the eclipse than talking to the main man right here, the chief astronomer here at the Franklin Institute, Mr. Derek Pitts. And Derek, I mean, you got a smile on your face right now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, this is a great experience. This is the kind of science experience that we love to have here at Franklin Institute because people are out having a great time, but they're doing it around a science experience. And so as long as we can help make that experience a positive thing, it's all good.
How special of a moment is this for the Philly folks and people all around? Why is this so special?
Well, what this does is it reinforces for people that science is a fun thing for them to do. It's a fun activity to be involved in, and we can all enjoy the celestial event together.
What are people actually witnessing with a solar eclipse?
So what they're actually seeing is they're seeing the moon slide directly between the sun and the earth. And a shadow of the moon then falls onto the earth, and we get to stand in that shadow for a little while. Now here in Philly, we're only at 90% coverage. So we don't get to experience the whole thing, but we still get to see the celestial mechanics of the solar system.
Now, immediately at, I believe it was at 2:08, heard everybody going, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. What were people seeing?
Well, that was the beginning of the eclipse for us. So what people were able to see in the next few minutes after that was a small bit of the sun being covered by the moon. So they'll be able to watch the progress of that for the next 2 hours.
I'll ask you, what is it going to look like here when it reaches, what did you say, the 98%?
Yeah, so that's going to look really cool, especially, you know, you have to have the solar eclipse glasses to see it. But what you're going to see is almost all the sun covered by the moon. And the lighting around here will look a little weird. Not in a bad way, but just different from what people are normally seeing. So they'll really have some experience of what an eclipse is like.
Now I'm going to ask you, because I hope this isn't a dumb question. I've always been told no question is dumb, but I'm going to ask it. It feels like the sun's a lot hotter right now, you know, over the last, hour or so. Is that actually true, or?
I think that's you, Gregory. So I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know what you had for lunch, but no. We have this really nice warm air mass here, and that's great. So people can enjoy being out. What we can expect to feel, though, when we get to the maximum, is maybe we will feel a little bit cooler in temperature, but then that's going to be followed as the sun exposes again, we'll warm up again.
All right. Mr. Pitts, thank you very much for talking with us.
Pleasure's all mine.
I got to get myself checked out because the sun's feeling a lot hotter to me, but maybe something's going wrong with me, guys. I might need to go to the hospital, get checked out real quick.
I don't think it's a dumb question. I have a million dumb questions.
Yeah,
we
same.
heard about, people feeling emotional when it happens, and some people crying. So that's an interesting, after effect here.
Greg, I think it's all the people that are around you. That's
Well, I did tell you, nobody parties like the folks in Philly, so, they filled out the Franklin Institute. So this is awesome. So that definitely probably is what it is. All the people around is just making it feel, a whole lot hotter. So, maybe I'm all right. Maybe I'm okay. Thank you for justifying my question.
That is the place to be right there, the Franklin Institute.
Yeah.
The big astronomy party happening there, and you've made a few friends, clearly, by all the people walking behind you, Greg. All right, thank you, Greg. We'll check back in with you real soon. Let's take the party over to Rochester, New York, where Mike Jarek has been all morning and now afternoon long. Mike, did you find somebody to play the Earth?
Yes, we did, as a matter of fact. That will display that in just a little bit, probably in about an hour. But I have something new to tell you. We're trying to salvage this day in Rochester because now there's even more clouds. I don't think we're going to see the sun at all. So I saw a woman in a wedding dress. I go, oh, went over and asked her, are you getting married? She goes, yeah, right at 3 o'clock as it gets close to totality. And so I said, well, can we come along and do it live? And she said, yeah. They're going to do it in this big ring in front of the Science Center. So if you could carve out some time at 3 o'clock or around that time, that's maybe something interesting I could bring you from Rochester. Instead of the sun,
6-hour drive, and that's how Mother Nature greeted Mike.
Are you leaving? Are you quitting?
No.
Where are you going?
Just to our car. We're going to smoke.
They're going to smoke, and then back to looking at gray clouds.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm worried about this.
Well, I don't think it's going to clear.
I'm so worried.
Where do you live?
I live in New Albany, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's a long drive.
Yes, 3 hours or 2 hours.
We did 6 hours, okay, for nothing.
Wow.
I'm being positive though.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you're with friends and family.
Yes, we wanted the boys to experience, this eclipse. Yes.
Hey, You'll see it in 2044. There'll be another one in 2044.
But a full
I'll take
one in 2074?
79.
79.
Yeah. I'll take you to that one, too.
So,
Darn it. All right.
thank you.
What are you smoking?
Why, you smoking?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
You know, I'll tell you what we'll be smoking later. If this doesn't improve.
well, you are on the path of totality. That is pot. So, just saying.
That is true.
Goodness gracious.
So, come back for the wedding.
Okay, I can
I'll
see
tell
a
them to
little
keep
bit.
it short.
I can see a little bit of the sun there. Don't give up hope, Mike. Don't give up hope. And
Okay.
you know, we have our
right.
professor here who says that it is going to get dark there, right, Dr. Engel?
Oh, it'll be dark.
Okay, you just won't be able to see the phenomenon of it, the
Right.
little bites being taken out of
But
it.
guess what?
But it
The
looks
little
like a little
corona.
bit of a clearing there.
Can see a lot in Philly. I mean, we got beautiful weather today for this. It's the best day we've had in
shut
months
up.
in our area. He's saying-
Come on back, Mike. Come on back.
oh, this is Lake Buchanan, Texas. And look, at almost time. Another few minutes before they'll experience totality. Millions of people leaving home to experience this in person. That's what I love about this. It's all about putting the phones down, get your head out of the screen, and experience this scientific phenomenon together. Old school, right?
Yeah, geek out. We'll be right back.
Let's go to Austin, Texas, where the full eclipse is happening. I believe the totality is happening there. Joy, what are you seeing?
Yeah, sorry, you guys. I put my glasses down because I didn't know if I was allowed to look, but this is pretty cool. It's like the perfect crescent moon. You can see it moving straight across the sun.
Whoa.
We get full totality here in Austin. This is like something that I've never seen before. Now, around me, it's not as dark as we thought it would get. You can hear the people cheering in the background, everybody looking up. I'll step to the side so that you can see. There are thousands of people out here on this lawn. People traveled from all across the country to be here in Austin to witness this totality. Now, they told us about 4.5 minutes. It started about a minute ago. Let me see what else I can see for you guys. Oh, there it goes again. It is just the perfect crescent moon on the top right as the moon is passing over the sun. You can hear more people cheering. The light is kind of going in and out. I thought it would be a lot darker. I thought in the moment of totality it would get kind of dark out here. As you can see, it still feels like the sun is out. We didn't think that we would be able to see it from here because of the clouds. We thought we would have some bad weather. It is kind of cloudy, but we are still able to see. It's still going on, and it's pretty amazing. Now, we can't see much of the sun, so I guess the moon is completely blocking it right now. You can hear some people cheering because we can't hear. So this is the actual moment, what they call the moment of totality, where you cannot see, not as dark as we thought. There are some people who traveled here. They told me that it was worth it, even though there was the risk that we may not completely see the eclipse. We got to see what I just described to you guys, and that is a really incredible moment. I think it's over. I'll be telling my children about that. It's something that I'd never thought that I would see. I know that you cannot look directly at it. You have to use these glasses because it does get so bright as the moon blocks the light. But that's what we're seeing here in Austin, Texas. And like I said, thousands of people behind me traveled for those 4 minutes just to be able to see the eclipse where the moon passes directly over the sun, something that we get maybe about every 20 years here in the U.S., but here in Austin, we will not be able to be in the path of totality for another 300 years.
Wow. We're looking at the sun near you in Dallas and what you're seeing. I'm surprised it's not darker, too. I thought it would be, maybe you still have some time, though. It might get darker, Joy.
Yeah, I thought your totality time was like 2:36 Eastern time, so 1:36 in Texas. So maybe there'll be a little bit more darkness.
I did speak with an expert earlier that told me that the clouds could affect how dark or light it gets. If there were less clouds, we would have more light, which would make it darker when the moon passes, if that makes sense. That's how she explained it to me for you guys. So we'll just have to see. It does actually feel like it's getting a little bit darker now as I continue to talk, and it continues to happen. But they did tell us about 4.5 minutes is when we could look with those glasses and see it passing.
All right. Joy, thank you. Let's toss to our doctor here, Dr. Scott Engel with Villanova, Astrophysics and Planetary Science. So, you know, as we're watching this sweep go across the country here, this is going to keep coming up, whether we're going to actually see complete darkness or not.
Cool, yeah.
I thought, you know, Austin, Texas would, you know, come a little bit later, and I think this is the concern where Mike is for Rochester, New York. So what would actually happen in the path of totality, whether it would be complete darkness or not? Can you just explain, like, what Joy, our reporter out there, was seeing?
Yeah. Now, if that live feed was accurate, you're still seeing the slight crescent of sunlight, and that's enough to give off a good bit of light. So what you're seeing there is what we call the photosphere, so photo for light, sphere for sphere. Well, many people consider the surface of the sun, so it's still giving off a good bit of visible light. During absolute totality, when the complete light surface, if you will, of the sun is covered, you're still going to have areas of the sky, you know, at a distance from it, that are getting hit by light, and they're still glowing. So it wouldn't become pitch black as in the nighttime, just because the sky is still bouncing around some sunlight, it's still glowing a good bit. So yes, there's going to be a drop off in light that you're definitely going to notice, and it's going to have that more eerie quality to it, because some of the sky will still look as though it's daytime, whereas the sun has now been blocked.
Yeah, it looked complete daylight.
I think we had some people may have had an expectation of just darkness, but that's
especially
not the
in the path of totality.
Yeah.
And there had been some reports that the map that was laid out by NASA may not be completely accurate, and that's why it's important to go to the center of that map.
Yeah, it has a little wiggle room, not too much, but if you're within that center of that path, you'll still be fine.
Scott Engel from Villanova, thank you very much. We're back right after this.
Thank you.
It is a historic day, solar eclipse 2024, and this is a live look right here in Philadelphia, where we are expecting for the sun to be eclipsed about 90% by the moon, right around 3:23. But this is the biting, if you will, of the sun happening with the moon right now. Just an amazing view. I knew coming into work today that we would have a spectacular view because the sun was just on full display. So this is a live look again at what's happening in our skies above Philadelphia.
Does that look like Pac-Man to you?
Like
the Apple logo, maybe?
Yeah, you know, like a almost fully formed Pac-Man.
Yeah. And that Pac-Man will get smaller and smaller, and boy, Mike, I mean, if you could only see it. He's mad.
How shiny is it?
Oh, we could polish it, right, at this point.
Listen, fish faces, we're in totality. Look, it's a totality of clouds. That's a totality, damn it. You know what? I think Rochester, though, this turned out to be a successful weekend. They've had a bunch of festivals, a lot of music, a lot of food sold. Every restaurant is sold out, every hotel. There's the mayor, hi mayor, and pan all the way over. It's crowded. So Rochester made a lot of money, just a lot of disappointment. And you want to rub it in a little bit with this guy? This guy went to Kenya in what year?
1980.
1980 to see a full solar eclipse.
Exactly.
And you saw it?
I saw it. Got the proof. It was wonderful.
How far did you fly to get to Kenya?
From New York City.
New York City?
I flew to Senegal. Then I took another flight from Senegal to Kenya.
Yeah.
And then Kenya, I continued hitchhiking down
so I shouldn't complain about going 6 hours not to see something.
No. So this is what I saw 44 years ago, and this is what you guys are missing, where the phase.
All right,
of the
that's
moon.
good enough.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is what we're missing. No, go ahead.
So you got the phases of the moon.
Yeah.
Then you get the full corona. The tiny little. It's hard to see in the small picture, but there's tiny little beads. And then you get,
that's
again the corona,
total.
And this is total. This is the diamond ring.
The diamond ring that pops out.
Right.
Good to see you, man. What's your name?
Mark Rosenhaus.
You still living in New York?
I live in New York City.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that trip down memory lane and memories I will never have. He saw a total eclipse of the sun. This is my only chance. Hey, by the way, Jason, Sheba, when is the next full eclipse of the sun? Because I will fly there, and I don't care where it is.
There are eclipse chasers. You know how they have storm chasers? There are eclipse chasers.
I could become that.
Well, yeah. Or you could host Good Day Rochester in your next chapter. No?
I've been offered. Yeah.
Okay.
It won't be back in Rochester for a long time, so I'm going to find another part of the Earth to go see it.
Right.
So,
I
Mike,
think Iceland when? Hold on.
2 years.
In 2 years, it goes through Spain and Iceland.
And Greenland, right?
No, Greenland's too far west. It's going to go straight up.
I'll do Iceland. I'll get one of those hot tubs.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
everybody in the hot tub.
In 4 years, it goes across North Africa, and in 6 years, it's New Zealand and Australia.
Okay.
So you can make your
I got
plan.
more chances.
You got it.
Awesome. I feel a lot better now.
okay, that's better than waiting 54 years.
That's about all I got. Yeah. We're supposed to be in totality at 3:20.
All right, we'll wait for that to see what
Yeah,
happens.
it's the mayor. Oh, hold on a second. Can you say, hey, hang with me for a second? Mayor Malik Evans is with me. I'm not getting anything in my ear, Mr. Mayor.
Good seeing you again.
Now, we're disappointed.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Well, there's no sun.
Well, it still may come, but remember, regardless of whether or not the sun comes or not, we're going to experience and feel this eclipse. So it's still a great momentous occasion. And remember, 100 years ago in Rochester, the eclipse came in January when it was like 6 degrees.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very, very cold.
Yeah. So that was 1925. So we can't complain.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So this is not a failure at all.
This is not a failure at all. This is absolutely still a success as far as I'm concerned because the weather could be worse. It could be raining.
I agree with him.
Mike.
Congratulations.
Mike and Mayor, thank you very
Yes.
much. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We are going to go to Buffalo, New York. Now you're looking at Ennis, Texas, and boy, that looks totality-ish to me.
That's gorgeous.
It is.
Yes, Texas is in totality right now. We had Austin, Texas supposed to happen at 2:36, Dallas at 2:40, and so we are right around 2:43 right now, and this is just stunning to look at.
Now Connor Hansen's in Buffalo, New York, and what's it like out there, Connor?
Well, Jason, we're fighting a little bit of cloud cover here, but we were able to see part of that eclipse right after it started. So we had our special glasses here, and we're able to see the moon starting to cross over. We still have about 40 minutes until totality here in Buffalo, so we're hoping these clouds continue to break up. People have been on their toes with the weather all day today. You know, this morning it was pretty cloudy. We even saw a little bit of rain, but then we saw that sun peeking out just a little bit, so we're hoping that continues to happen. This park where we are right now, you can see everybody lined up. We've got hundreds of people here. If you can't see the rest of them, a lot of people taking the day off work, kids off school today, hoping to catch a glimpse of this. And, you know, upwards of 1 million people are expected to be in the state of New York for this, just like so many other states and cities across that path of totality. You know, they were even warning about traffic jams, about people running out of gas, about people stretching the cell service thin here. So they've been preparing for this for quite a while, and it's going to be another 20 years before a lot of the U.S. gets to see it again. So we've got our fingers crossed that we'll get a clear view here sometime in the next hour or so.
All right, we cannot wait for that to see what it looks like in Buffalo, because I know you guys are dealing with cloudy conditions, much like our Mike Jarek is dealing with cloudy conditions in Rochester. All right, let's bring you back to our city, Philadelphia, right now. The moon began its path across the sun about 40 minutes ago, and then will move from south to west for about 2.5 hours until about 4:35. And all of this 90% coverage, the peak time for Philly is happening around 3:23. Our Drew Anderson is keeping a close eye on the sun and the moon right now, and he has his eclipse glasses on, and you have a friend out there with you as well, Drew.
I sure do. Wow. All right. So it just poked out from in between the clouds. This is how much of the sun is missing right now. About 40% of the sun is gone, and I brought back some of our eclipse models from Good Day Philadelphia who are watching with me. Jen, tell me and describe this experience.
This is insane. Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
I can't see when I look down.
Exactly, that's the point.
It was amazing. So I'm seeing about almost 40% now of the moon into the sun, and the eclipse comes and goes. It like ebbs and flows with the clouds, and it is so ethereal. It's gorgeous.
It's exciting when all of a sudden it pops back out.
In fact, I started screaming when I saw it at first, the first time. It was amazing.
And Jalen, for you, I see that big smile on your face. What's it feel like right now?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm literally witnessing history right now. Oh man, this is crazy. This is so cool.
And it's so dramatic when it pops out from in between the clouds. I think it's making it even more special. And all you guys have great different solar viewers. And I want to talk more about the importance of why we need to wear these and not regular sunglasses. Take a watch. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. Instead of that, I did a little story where we talked with an eye doctor, and they explained even looking at the sun for about 5 or 10 seconds has the potential to lead to permanent damage of the eye. And what's interesting about these is these are darker than welder's glass. We were, just trying and testing things out. And this is why it's so important to have that, oh no, it's gone at the very moment, but it's coming right back out. So, guys, tell me a little bit more about what you're wearing, because you went to local designers around Philadelphia to help us get excited for the eclipse.
That's right. I'm so happy. We had about 6 models, different designers all around Philadelphia, from Conrad Booker to Elmira Designs, the Philadelphia Fashion Incubator, Maison, Philly Fashion Week, and so many more.
And what's so cool about that is you can see that whole segment on FOX29.com with all our eclipse models. Just click on Good Day. That is the latest from the roof. I'll put my glasses back on, and there it is. It's barely peeking. Oh, the cloud just made it disappear. We'll get it back out, guys. We'll send it back down to you.
Oh, okay. So we are dealing with some cloudy conditions, a little peekaboo cloudiness here in Philadelphia. Drew, thank you so much with all of your guests out there who risked their lives to make it up to the roof. Dr. Engel, you said that you saw a sunspot there.
Yeah, there's a pretty significant sunspot on the sun right now. It appeared like it was just to the right of the very leading tip of the moon as it's starting to cover over the sun. And you can see it because of how much light we're now losing, and especially when some of the clouds start to slide over, you have an easier time viewing it. But if you're looking through one of those glasses, hopefully you'll be able to get a little shy, depending on if you're going through a telescope with a filter or anything like that. You get a nice zoomed in look. Okay. But yeah, there's a fairly sizable sunspot.
Or something? What is it?
It's a place where the magnetic field lines of the sun, they all kind of converge together and they grab a part of the sun and they keep it on the surface so that it just keeps on losing heat off to space, and so it darkens compared to the rest.
Okay, and that's the view that he's talking about in Philadelphia. This is the view in Arkansas, which is supposed to be one of the best spots to view the total eclipse of the sun in Arkansas. And just, can you describe this orange shading here with the crescent moon here? Or a little sliver, it's a little sliver of the sun left.
So there is a phenomenon of the sun that, because it's not solid, it's darker at the edges. We call it limb darkening of the sun. So we'll get darker there. The specific colors you see would most likely come down to the filter that's being observed through. Depending on what wavelengths of light, if it cuts down completely evenly all across the optical spectrum, great. If it's letting in a little more blue light, the sun can have a slightly, what's called cool tint to it. And if it's letting in more of the longer wavelength light, it's going to have an even warmer, orangish reddish tint to it.
All right. Well, we are just happy to be part of this historic day here. We'll be back with more coverage.
And welcome back. Let's see, what are we going to see here?
This is Rochester, New York. Yeah, it's still cloudy.
Yeah. They're going to, they're one of the, many popular cities there in this path. We've seen Austin, Dallas, Indianapolis, Rochester, and Vermont. This is going to be the most viewed eclipse in history, they say, with that many people living along the path of totality. So, there's parties. Bill Nye's hosting one in Fredericksburg, Texas, where it's $325 a ticket. So it's a party, and it should be.
Yeah. along the path of totality. Even though it's cloudy, folks are still gathered and hoping for the best because totality is expected in less than 30 minutes now, Mike.
What? I know. It's 20 minutes away, 28 minutes away from totality. So I was going to lay down and watch this, but sitting's just good enough. What's your name?
Eitan Horowitz. This is my son, Jack.
Where do y'all live?
We live in Marion Station.
Obviously, Phillies fans came down for the eclipse, or came up.
We did.
6 hours?
Yes. Yeah, we were in New York City, but then drove 5 from there, and, we'll be, 5, 6 back. Yeah.
Do you have a strainer ready?
I mean, we got all the stuff. We might not need it. I don't know if you want to have that, but,
About only good for a hat today.
Yeah, but they say, we'll still get dark here.
Well, it is getting a little darker.
Yeah.
We're about halfway through. Like you said, we got 25 minutes to totality. Do you have any snacks left?
I do have some snacks. If you want some?
What do you got?
Some gingerbread cookies. You want one too?
Gingerbread cookies? Does he want the gingerbread?
You want a gingerbread?
Here, can you hold that?
Yeah. Let's see. We'll get some cookies.
I like my dad. I can't open anything.
You got a sweatshirt too already.
Oh yeah, this is a nice shirt. I went all the way to Rochester and I got this stinking shirt, but I do like this shirt.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Hope we get to see something cool.
We're just minutes away.
Solar eclipses only happen
Woo-hoo!
because you have to be on the side of the earth that's facing the sun.
Do you even see the sun at all?
You've experienced pandemic.
Yeah, can we have some,
You
some
can see the
cookies?
moon because it reflects sunlight.
Sorry.
At night, you're on the part of the earth that's facing away from the sun.
I don't even know where to look. I mean, with the glasses on.
Lunar eclipses
It's hard to see,
over
Mike.
those 2 trees.
Oh, really?
Between the sun and the moon.
Do you think the sky is cleared a little bit out there, Mike?
No!
Understanding the sun
Not one iota.
predict the exact moment when
No.
the moon is locked
In fact, it's getting darker.
Well, that's good.
Okay, yeah. All right. Is it getting cooler?
You block sunlight from hitting the moon.
Yes, it's cooler, but I also know that a cold front's moving through, causing this cloudiness.
It was, yesterday was amazing.
Yesterday was great.
There was not a cloud in the sky yesterday.
Yeah.
And then the traffic afterwards that a lot of these folks are going to have to
Oh, yeah.
It's
Everyday People PR present.
all right. Well, listen, it still could be phenomenal, and I'm sure it will. Mike, we'll see in just a little bit from Rochester. He's a
The
little
thing is,
disappointed.
Mike's made some new friends today, too.
He has.
And he's been recognized for all his viral videos, yeah.
Minutes away here on Fox 29 and Fox Local. Thanks for watching. We're back right after this. And welcome back to our Solar Eclipse 2024 coverage. We'll all be 20 years older than we are right now the next time this happens. Ask yourself, is this a once-in-a-lifetime event? A lot of people have poo-pooed, oh, we'll get another one. I mean, think about your kids' age and how old will they be in 20 years? And how old will you be? So I'm operating on this as a once-in-a-lifetime situation here
August
in Philly.
23rd, 2044, the next total solar eclipse.
In the United States.
You would have to... Okay, hold on for a moment. Our producer is talking to us. Say that again. Carbondale, Illinois, in totality right now.
Look, is that neon green? Is that really the color we're seeing, Doctor? I mean, does that happen?
It's the color that we're seeing, once again, probably more of a yellowish, and again, depends on the filter that they're observing it through precisely.
Got it. But that's,
That is the
Carbondale.
live feed, yeah.
Think about all the people that have traveled to Carbondale to see this, a city we don't talk about very often.
We talk about the next total solar eclipse, but you have to travel to those specific destinations to be in that path of totality, and that's what we have seen millions of Americans do on this wonderful day. I mean, this is just, it is a celebration, it is a phenomenon, and scientists can learn a lot from a solar eclipse.
Yes.
So what specific things are they looking for? I understand that they can launch rockets and balloons and a jet plane into the eclipse, but this is a great day for the scientists as well to observe many things.
Because it's such a rapid change in the amount of visible light, the amount of energy that the sun is putting out. Yes, NASA has launched a few rockets with instruments on board to measure just how the different layers of the atmosphere will respond to rapid changes in the energy that they're receiving.
Yeah.
There's an interesting question within science, exactly how the different layers respond, how energy is transferred between them.
I'm interested in human behavior during these things and animal behavior.
Yes.
In 2017, these turtles at the Fort Worth Zoo started mating during the last eclipse. I don't know what's going on there.
So do they normally mate during darkness? Is that why?
Yeah.
That's all I can assume.
I mean, hey, when in Rome. Gorillas started their bedtime routine, though, that same day. So, you know, and I've heard birds chirping and doing weird things. And
do you think some animals are going to roll up on Mike Jarek in Rochester, New York?
It's very possible. Very possible. Give him something to report on.
Well, you know, he's a little grumpy, but, you know, because he traveled a long way and doesn't get to see what he wants to see.
So what makes this solar eclipse different than the one in 2017?
The path that it's covering, first of all, is different. 2017 versus this one, I believe there's 50% more people that are living directly underneath the path of totality.
Okay.
So also as technology increases and as ease of travel increases, we're planning to see many more people actually observing this one, either directly or digitally, just because of how well covered it's going to be, just as time progresses and people realize just how special these events can be.
All right, and in Philadelphia in 2017, we saw about 80% coverage, and now it's expected to be close to 90%. We want to go back out to Mike Jarek. No animals have found him, but a wedding has.
Yes, a wedding has broken out at a solar eclipse. Carly, right?
Carla,
Carla, what do you do for a living?
preschool teacher,
Okay, you live in
Maryland.
Maryland. Hey, Kyle.
Kevin.
Like I said, Kevin, hurry, Kevin. And here's the groom. Okay, what do you do for a living?
I work at Giant. I do the overnight stocking, and I run the store in after hours.
But you came here for the solar eclipse.
Correct. Yeah, I was born in Rochester.
Okay, to get married during the eclipse.
Absolutely.
Well, the eclipse is happening right now above us. We just can't see it. Why did you want to do this during the eclipse?
Well, I call her my moonrise sunflower, and I'm her wild sunshine. So the idea of the moon and the sun uniting in the sky and on Earth at the same time just seemed perfect to us.
Okay, we'll get out of the way and let you do it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
See, a silver lining here.
I think it's beautiful, and I love it. And then, so I would imagine they're going to wait for the big moment right during the path of totality.
Okay,
right?
That's what I was like. Are they going to get married now?
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for. I love his nickname for her and her nickname for him. Just very, very sweet. I love to see all these momentous occasions happening during the solar eclipse.
We're just minutes away from 90% coverage here in Philly.
Around 3:23, around 3:20 in Rochester, where Mike Jarek is.
We're back right after this. So I'm hearing a lot about clouds suddenly just showing up over the skies of Philly. Greg, the timing of this is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly feels like we have our own, mini fake eclipse happening right now because of the clouds covering. But I mean, being here at a watch party, we were talking earlier, there is a whole lot of people that are here. And of course, my job is to find the really cool people to talk to. And this woman, actually, I think is more popular than the entire solar eclipse itself. But actually, I think it has to do with her two little guests here. This is Lori. Lori, why'd you, first off, what's the name of your dog?
This is Ava, and this is Lily.
And so why did you decide to bring them out and especially put the nice little shades on?
Well, we wanted to come to the eclipse party at the Franklin Institute, and they don't have these goggles. They're not safe for the sun, for this eclipse, but they make them look pretty cool, I think.
Well, they definitely do look very cool. And one of the things you were saying is you like to bring them to these type of events because it makes people happy.
Absolutely. So many people will come up to us. They'll take photos. They ask their names. They want to hold them. So they make a lot of people smile, and it make their day.
Very good. Well, thank you, Lori. And we got our gentleman over here. This gentleman's from the land of the and the maple syrup. Mr. Canada, why'd you decide to come on out here?
Yo, I'm the V-Man from Canadian Apex Wrestling in Vancouver, BC, Canada. I came out here to join your eclipse party. I came for WrestleMania. I met some wild friends out here. I met the Sandman, ECW legend, and Brian Tosh from the Sandman podcast. And I love your guys' city so much.
How cool is it to be able to witness this here in Philadelphia and see the amount of people that turn out?
It's absolutely amazing. I heard about this before I even came out here, and I kind of wanted to check this out when I got here, and here I am now.
Well, welcome. Thank you for checking out the city.
Yeah, thank you. I walked from the Rocky Steps all the way to Lincoln Financial Field for WrestleMania. One hell of an adventure, and I enjoyed your guys' green grass all along the way. Thank you so much.
Hey, have a safe trip, eh?
You too, Bob. Thank you so much. Love you,
all right,
Fox.
now we're gonna make our way down. We go from Canada, now we're going back into the United States. Got my girl right here, Julia. Julia, I mean, why'd you decide to come on out here?
I live around the corner in Logan Square, and I all week I've been watching on the news about this, right? I'm like, why are people traveling so far, spending a lot of money for 4 minutes? So I came over to see what it was all about, and guess what? I get it. It's beautiful.
How cool is it to witness it with all of these people?
That's what's beautiful about it. I never see so many people in this park here, and the Franklin Institute is really generous to open this up and make it really nice for everybody. I love it. I walked over, and then I'll walk home when it's over.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, Julia. And now, you know, my man from Canada was mentioning the Rocky Steps. I'm going to do my own. This ain't the Rocky Steps, but I'm going to climb up over here and do my best to come on over here. Got my main man, Marcellus, over here. He came here. He was watching WrestleMania just like our man from Canada. If you could talk to us a little bit about, you know, you got your bags packed, you ready to go, but you decided to stop for this. Why'd you decide?
Yeah, well, we stopped really because it's something we're both interested in. It was kind of just like the stars kind of aligned. You know, it was something for me, and it was something for her, and it was something for both of us between the whole weekend. So it all lined up, and, you know, pretty much once this is done, we're off to the airport and back home.
Where's back home for you?
Chicago.
All right, so I mean, you know, being from Chicago, I mean, how cool was it to be able to witness this with the folks in Philly, though?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. This whole weekend has just been great. Just like one thing after another, it's just been a very great weekend, and the city has been really welcoming.
Appreciate it. Hope you had a great time. Thank you. All right, so Jason, I got to ask you something, though, but you were mentioning something about the fact that the next time this may be happening or something like that is 20 years, I think you said.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
But it made me hold my back because I was like, I'm going to be 50 years old. It didn't even sink in.
Yep.
In fact, I'm going to be 50 years old the next time something like this happens.
Yeah, you'll even, you know, you'll be in better physical form at that point, Greg, you know. Just
take care of yourself.
Do your calisthenics.
I hope, and they might be pushing me in a walker down this area just to check this out.
Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, Greg, before we let you go, can you look up to the sky with your glasses, of course, and let us know whether you can see a little sliver of the sun at all?
No, it's a little dark. Oh, now I got my glasses. Hold on. Let me put these on. They want something bad to happen on there. Here we go. Hold on. See, but I am seeing absolutely nothing. I hate to burst the bubble. I do not see anything, to be honest. Now I'm looking at it without the glasses because I think I'm fine because, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Let me check one more time. Nope. The clouds messed this one up for me at this point in time.
We'll see it in 20 years. You got 20 years for the next one. All right. So we'll look forward to that.
All right.
But our bureau in Delaware County, they're able to see something through the clouds.
Yeah, my wife
right?
in Havertown, you know, she was able to just see through the clouds. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but it's working. Connor Hansen, we just showed you Cleveland, and Connor Hansen is in Buffalo. You got the same problem we do, right, Connor? And that is the cloud cover?
A little bit, but just before I got on with you, we got a slight break in the clouds. I was able to throw on my glasses, and right now just a sliver of the sun left. You know, it's getting darker here. It's kind of a strange feeling, but every time we get a little bit of a break in the clouds, we hear people cheering. It's a great atmosphere here. There's hundreds of people in this park right in the heart of Buffalo, obviously in the path of totality here. So hoping we get a little bit of a break in the clouds again in just a few minutes here when we do get full coverage, because that's what everyone wants to see, that sort of fully blocked sun, see the outer corona of the sun is what everyone's been waiting for. But either way, it's going to be a cool experience. It's going to get completely dark here we're so excited to see everybody's reaction and how that feels, because for me personally, this is my first total solar eclipse, and as you mentioned before, it's not going to happen again for most of the United States for another 20 years. So tons of people are out here today who are locals, took the day off work. Other people traveled from far away. You know, upwards of 1 million people came to the state of New York just for this.
1 million people. How far, of all the people you're speaking to, how far would you say a family has traveled or a person has traveled?
Well, so far, mostly been talking to locals here, all the people who have stopped by here. So to be honest with you, haven't heard from anyone who came from super far away, but I'm sure there are plenty of them here. This is just one of many sites throughout Buffalo where people are gathering. I know in Niagara Falls, about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more from here, huge gathering. But officials here also been preparing for this for a long time. All this travel, they've been warning about traffic jams, telling people to have topped off gas tanks just in case. Even on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, they were doing a state of emergency just to kind of expedite emergency resources just in case, because they didn't know what to expect. I don't know if you can tell behind me, but it's starting to get much darker. We obviously have some lights on.
Whoa.
I'm going to take one quick look with my glasses on. Still nothing right now, unfortunately, and we're coming up on it just in the next 5 minutes or so. We should have totality. So we've got our fingers crossed. We got our fingers crossed. I felt like I could see it, but I'm afraid to look without the glasses.
All right.
So because I don't want to burn my eyes. But a couple minutes away, hopefully we'll get another break in the clouds.
Connor Hansen in Buffalo, thank you. Let's go to Rochester, New York, where the wedding is underway. Mike Jarrett there.
The wedding of Carly and Kyle here in Rochester, New York, under the solar eclipse in totality, even as we speak. And now the couple is married under a total solar eclipse in the moment of its totality. And they're running away. Goodbye.
Oh, young love. Gotta love it.
Moon pie for dessert.
This wedding happening in Rochester, New York. You could hear Mike Jarrett in the background there. We are expecting totality in Rochester right around 3:20. So you can see the skies have darkened a little bit there in Rochester, but they're dealing with the same thing we are dealing with in Philly.
It's darker.
It's darker. Okay, there's Mike.
It is darker and it's a little more chilly. So how was it?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Exhilarating.
Well, exhilarating?
Yeah.
Now, who are we waiting on?
Well, two of our friends decided to get food and got stuck in line waiting.
Well,
unfortunately.
Where are you going to live?
Well, we'll be back in Maryland.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking for a new place actually really soon, a little bit bigger, because we're going to plan on expanding the family very quickly.
All right. Now, give me a countdown to 3:20. That'll be totality, okay? So how soon do you want to start this family?
Soon enough.
Yeah? Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Bastille, France.
Oh, in France?
Yes.
Bastille?
True.
Yeah. I heard about the Bastille. What happened to that Bastille? Yeah.
Yes.
July 14th is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. So when did you come to the States?
When I was 16.
Yeah. And then how'd you two meet?
Ah, that's a funny story.
It better be. We'll be the judge.
I told my friends never meet a girl at a bar, and so I met her at a sports restaurant.
Yes, a restaurant.
It's called Buffalo Wild Wings, guys.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Hey, come on over here, gang.
Come on, guys.
Wow. So it's almost time. Come on.
Almost time.
So give me a countdown to 3:20. Okay, you can tell.
They're all over there.
You can tell we're in totality. So go, kiss. And now shut the light off. It got really dark.
It's not quite totality, but it's almost there.
It's
got to be the diamond ring right now. There it is. See how it hit that?
Wow, that is crazy. Bye. It got dark. I mean, it got dark, boom, like that, right at totality. This has been worth the trip. I kind of like this. Okay, shut it off. I'm going to be quiet. Some fireworks going off. Back in the studio, can you tell it's much darker?
Oh,
100%.
definitely. Yeah, this is why you drove 6 hours today, Mike, and hung out all day in Rochester. This is it. What a beautiful moment.
Is the astronomer still there?
Yes.
Why did it happen in a split second?
It was like a snap of a finger.
Why
Why did that happen?
That's that rapid difference between even a tiny bit of the sun's, photosphere, the surface of the sun peeking through, versus it being completely covered up. Yeah. So things happen rapidly.
Okay. Something else has just happened.
What's happening over here?
Another
proposal?
Did you two just get engaged?
Yes, we did.
What's your name?
Broderick.
And you?
Cheyenne.
Where are you from?
We're from Corning.
Okay, that's not far, right? Yeah.
No. About an hour and a half south.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you know this was coming?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
You wanted to do it at totality.
Yes.
And you did it exactly at 3:20.
Maybe 10 seconds after, but yeah.
That's how it worked. And you said?
Yes.
When are you going to get married?
Maybe a year and a half? Yes.
Yeah.
Something like 2025 is
Maybe
the date.
a lunar eclipse, get married or something like that. Why'd you want to do it during an eclipse?
So my last name is Star.
Oh.
So obviously.
Starry night.
And we like space stuff. So
Yeah.
The whimsy of space is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the stars, the sky, and he loved all the science of it. So
Where'd you meet?
We met through some friends at bar trivia in Corning.
Bar trivia. Who won?
Not us the first time,
Was it
but
Quizzo?
eventually
Or something like that?
we did. We did win with a Princess Diaries question.
Well, you're big winners today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nicely done. The best of luck to you.
Look at that.
Is that, now we see blue sky. So like the astronomer said, it can break up, it can dissipate some clouds.
Mike, it looked pitch black there for a while. That was crazy.
Do you see above the dome? That's blue.
Does it look like a sunrise and sunset is happening at the same time to you, Mike?
Yes, yes. It's weird.
Wow.
Have you ever seen one before, Mike?
I saw the one in 2017, but it was just partial.
Right. And this is
but it was still exhilarating, but nothing like this. Wow. I want to keep doing more of these. It was just shocking to me. The minute they kissed, everything went dark. Of course, that's happened to me in a few bars, but...
Yeah. And what do they say? It's about 3 to 4 minutes of this. And my wife says it's the most climactic 3 minutes of her life. I don't know what she means by that, but, you know.
Oh. This is why people travel as far as they do. Just seeing all the happenings around the eclipse just brings a little tear to your eye. People trying to make some sweet moments out of this. It's just really nice to see.
I've said this 5 times now, but that's the most shocking thing for me is how fast it went dark.
Yeah, it wasn't like a gradual, slow darkening of...
No. It was like somebody turned the lights off.
Totally worth it.
And the way we see
totally worth the trip.
Yeah. Wow,
okay, so
and
now
there
it's
we go.
getting lighter. The sky is lightening. You can still see the clouds, but... And what is that on the right, folks, in the booth? What are we looking at there on the right? Is that Philly?
The peak time for Philly should be now,
right
3:23.
Now.
So I'm eager to
assuming
see what
that's
it looks
Philly.
like outside right now.
Yeah, so...
Hold on, somebody's having a baby. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I think we've covered it all then. Engagement, marriage, baby.
Do we have the roof shot for Philly that we can see? All right, we're being told that it is cloudy, but right now, the peak time for Philly, where we are expecting for the sun to be covered, 90% of the sun being covered should be happening right now. And it's cloudy here in Philly, so hard to see anything happening.
And it's Texas on the right, so that's the backside of the eclipse. They've already had their totality moment.
It happened.
And there we go. Now that Tupper Lake, New York. And what a beautiful shot that is. We've seen different filters and different colors, Doctor. That one will be still hot.
Yeah, so letting you live the short wavelength blue light.
Whoa.
And they're making some adjustments, yeah. Sometimes you just shut up and watch it, huh?
So the light around, this is just the sun peering out from the moon here. Why doesn't this happen more often?
Well, you have to have a honestly perfect alignment.
Everything has to be lined up just
Earth,
right.
Moon, and sun, exactly. So it's happening twice a year-ish. It just depends on where you are on the Earth and if you can see it or not, or how much of it you can see. But yeah, what you can see there is the corona. And you can see it comes out in lines almost, especially there at the very bottom. You can see there's a break. That's because of the sun's magnetic field. So all of that plasma and everything is streaming along these magnetic field lines. So depending on how strong the magnetic field is or how weak, that's where it's going to be brighter versus fainter in the coronas. There's less material in there.
I can see why people who travel to the path of totality would be in tears looking at this event. It feels quite emotional just sitting here on the set. And Mike has brought those pictures to us from Rochester, New York. That was the most glaring effect of the solar eclipse if you weren't able to travel there, for me at least.
You just have to keep telling yourself, this may be the only one we see in our lives over where we are. And, you know, when you consider, you know, just how precious life is, you just have to soak it all in together. Remember where you were and who you were with. So, Doctor and Sheba, it's my honor to be with you guys. And
same here.
Yeah. Thank you. Imagine this for Doctor of Astrophysics. What is it? What are we all? Astro what?
Astrophysics and planetary science.
Yeah. And yet he's stuck inside with us when he could be outside looking at this. So we appreciate you being here.
No place I'd rather be.
Awesome.
This makes me want to travel to the next one.
Yeah, I can see why you'd chase these things and
You
want to
know?
see them again.
Ugh.
Yeah, connection to a celestial event like that.
Yeah.
It's very special.
We're all connected today. We're all going through this together, so that's very special.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back on Fox 29 and Fox Local as we continue to take you through this total solar eclipse. That is Holton, Maine.
That's supposed to be one of the best places to see the total eclipse today. Maine and Arkansas, apparently the places to be. And now we've learned Rochester turned out to work out just fine. Shayna Ferreira is joining us now from Westchester University. A celestial party happening there as well, Shayna?
Yes, Sheba, I got to tell you, it's quite the crowd. We have about, I grabbed my glasses here, over 700 people, because they had 750 of these to give out, and they gave them all away. So we're talking well over 750 people showing up to see just what you're looking at here on this beautiful campus. We have people with their chairs. We have people all walks of life, all ages. Some of the kids got out of school so they can have their lunch on the lawn to see it. It's been pretty exciting, and not just that. Of course, we've also had some experts here from Westchester, like Professor Karen, who has been with me all morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Listen, you have to forgive me. So, good afternoon. Amazing day, historic day. Talk to me about kind of what we're looking at. It's a little cloudy, but we're still getting some action.
Yeah. Actually, the clouds are working out well because the people that didn't have glasses, it's cutting down the light and they're able to actually see through the clouds. But yeah, we've got a great amount of people here. Everybody's sharing glasses. We were using the telescopes till these clouds rolled in, and it's just been great.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I have to tell you, it got a little chilly once is that normal?
It does cause the temperature to drop a little bit, but I think more than that, the clouds are what's cooling it off around here.
Yeah, for sure. Professor Karen has been really great for me because she's been explaining a lot of this, and you've had a special telescope. Folks have been checking it out, and there's a special filter on it to make sure that, of course, you don't damage the telescope, but also you get to get a good glimpse of what we're looking at for the eclipse.
Absolutely, and we've been lucky today that there have been some sunspots to look at. So before the eclipse even started, everybody was checking out the sunspots, and then now we've been watching that moon slowly cover up the sun.
90%. I got to tell you, it's pretty fascinating. I know Sheba and Jason, I'm not sure if you got anything to see this, but my gosh, and this is 90%. I can't imagine what 100% would look like. I know we have Mike Jarek, our anchor up in Rochester, getting the full totality. And the next time we see this is 20 years from now, he said?
2044.
Gosh, okay. Yeah. So this is the time to see it, guys. I mean, wow, it is something to behold. And I mean, people are excited. I'm excited. I've never seen anything like this, by the way. Thank you for the glasses, by the way. They're fantastic. And guys, I'm really excited to be here. These kids have been, I don't know if they're skipping class or not, but they've been here enjoying it too, taking their time in. They didn't confirm or deny, so I told them to just do what they need to do. Hopefully they don't miss too much class. I know they get 2 or 3 absences unexcused for a semester. Is that right, Professor Karen? How many classes can they miss until they get in trouble?
It's up to the professor.
Okay, it's up to the professor. So hopefully they got a lenient one for today, guys. But yeah, it's really, really cool. I can still see it. It was on and off. I thought we were going to have a dud, but I'm so glad you came to me when you did because I had nothing to show you until you came to me. So I'm really excited to actually have something to talk about.
Peak time for us, for our area, was about 3:23. So that was about 10 minutes ago. Was there a darkening in the skies? I know it's only 90% for us. Nothing compared to what we saw in Rochester. But can you just walk us through what was going on just about 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, just about 10 minutes ago. I mean, first of all, the crowd began to cheer like crazy just to see what they were looking at. It also got really a little bit more breezy, as you heard from Professor Karen, who explained that temperature drop that tends to happen. We're also dealing with the clouds here, but it was really something to behold in terms of the darkness that we were able to see. And it was the darkness only happened for a quick second. I heard Mike Jarek talk out in Rochester that the best look of it, if you will, only passed in a moment's time. And that's what we saw here just about 8 minutes ago, I would say. So it's pretty cool. And with just what you explained, what Mike saw, we saw, just at a little less of that vantage point since we're only at 90%.
Yeah, I mean, we have clouds, but at least it's warmer out there, so it's comfortable. You know, you can spend, it's the nicest day we've had here in a while. So it could be worse. And what a day.
It could be worse.
Nobody should be in a classroom today. You got to be outside.
Yeah,
Professor,
nature is
did you
your
have a class
classroom.
today?
No.
He didn't have a class today.
They got Wawa sandwiches out here. Folks bringing their Wawa sandwiches, their hoagies, and their waters. I mean, they're doing it right. I mean, the kids are here. The grandkids are here. A lot of folks from the community. Of course, you know, Westchester University, outside of it's very residential, so we've seen neighbors come with their chairs and such. It really is a community event, and people are making their time to see it. So it's been pretty cool.
That's the best part of this whole thing, I think.
Yeah, and it goes all the way through for the next hour, so till about 4:35. So you might have missed the peak, but you can still get your glasses, look up, and see everything that's happening with the sun and the moon.
All right, Shayna, thank you very much.
And if you don't have these glasses, by the way, remember, you guys, we have a whole bunch of how-tos and DIYs on our website, FOX29.com. Drew Anderson was really good with it this morning. So if you have a cereal box, some paper plates, check out our website. There's a bunch if you can't get your hands on these. Apparently, they're hard to get. So.
Yep, and then you can sell them on eBay when you're done. They're worth something one day. All right.
Totality happening in Maine right now. We've been showing you some of that view on the right over the last couple minutes. Shayna, we appreciate it. We'll be right back. Wow, this is a live look at Washington, D.C. They were expected to get a partial solar eclipse today, not in the path of totality, but this crescent moon just says everything spectacular to look at as we're watching this solar eclipse make its way across the country, sweep across the country.
So let's get back to Mike Jarek in Rochester. Who do you have with you, Mike?
Some of you probably know Brandy Campbell is with Fox Weather, so she's been tracking this thing all across the country. Who do you think was the weather winner?
Man, okay, so I've been watching our stream because we have colleagues down in Dallas, Indianapolis, Cleveland, and it looks like they all got to see it.
A little bit, yeah.
Indianapolis,
they were the
they
winners.
Saw some of the explosions coming off of the sun.
The sun,
and the coronas.
the flares.
Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps just watching it from our live stream. So I would say probably Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Just from what I saw on our Fox Weather stream, man.
So you saw our totality.
Yes.
At 3:20 exactly. It got dark.
It got so dark.
Like that.
was like someone just flipped the switch. And when it's cloudy, our meteorologist at Fox Weather says you'll get an even darker experience. So, I mean, it was so
like
dark.
The middle of the night.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not for long.
Yeah, a couple minutes.
Yeah.
The 3 minutes, 38 seconds. But I mean, I was in awe.
It was worth the trip.
It was worth it. We got something out of it.
You came from Miami?
I came from Miami. It's my first one. Is it yours?
In 2017, I did one.
Yeah.
But that was partial. I want to go to the next, complete.
Well, look, 2026. There's one in Europe. Can we go to Europe?
Yeah, we can go anywhere you want.
Go to Spain.
Spain and Iceland.
We're not waiting for 2044, guys.
26, here we come. Thank you. Good to see you.
Same here.
I enjoy your work. You're doing great.
I enjoy y'all's too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, there you go.
You're hooked
2
now,
years.
Mike?
Iceland, Spain.
August 12th, 2026.
Yeah, we should do a group
Let's
trip.
go.
Forget dinner. Let's go to the path of totality in a couple years.
All right. I can do 2 more years.
You're always up for an adventure. I know you
That's
are.
right.
All right.
He's all of a sudden perked up, right?
Hold on, Brandy.
All right, Mike.
No.
Oh, she's gone. She left.
Go take your pick of the day.
We're back after this.
Let's go back out to Joy Addison. She is in Austin, Texas. Folks still hanging around there, Joy, or enjoying these last few moments of the solar eclipse?
Well, Jason and Sheba, there was so much excitement surrounding that solar eclipse. People are still here enjoying the party. There were some drinks and some food, and there were some astronomy people who were giving some information about the solar eclipse, what it is, why we had to use these glasses, why we couldn't look directly at the sun, how many times we will see a solar eclipse, and how many times we'll see it here in Austin. I don't know when the area is going to clear out, but people are so excited. At the beginning of the day, we thought that we weren't going to be able to see the eclipse, even though we were in the path of totality. But thankfully, the clouds pushed back just enough for us to see the eclipse. Here and there, it just looked like a perfect crescent moon. It was very bright, and we actually did not have to use the glasses here in Austin because of how cloudy it was. People traveled from so far. I talked to several people who told me that they took several flights, stopped at different cities along the way, but they say it was all worth it coming here to Austin to witness that eclipse. Now, a couple of facts about the eclipse. There are 15 cities that are on the path of totality. 15 states here in Texas. We are one of those 15. And here in Austin, the next time that we will be able to witness a solar eclipse, it will be about 300 years, is what the astronomer that I talked to earlier told me. But in the U.S., the next time we'll see it should be around 2044.
And to touch on what you were saying, just all the traveling, $6 billion will be generated to local economies from people traveling to be a part of this. That's more than the Eras Tour or Super Bowl or all kinds of other things there. So for 4 minutes, for a 4-minute extravaganza.
It's pretty incredible. There were thousands and thousands of people out here, and just about everyone that I spoke to seemed to be from out of town. I just spoke with a couple from Bermuda. I spoke with another woman from Lake Tahoe. I think I spoke with more people who traveled here to Austin than people who were from here, and they said that because it was in such a nice city here in Texas, they were going to be able to enjoy the city as well. So it was about a little bit more than those 4 minutes of the eclipse.
Yep.
All right. Joy Addison, thank you. Dr. Engel, we're talking about the next one over and over and over again. So where would we have to go in 20 years to see the next total solar eclipse?
In 2044, here in the United States, it would be Montana, North Dakota,
awesome.
and
Thank you.
tiniest bit of South Dakota. Beyond that, Canada is where it's going to arc its way through most of.
But then if we miss that, you said there's a next opportunity very soon.
Yes. Yeah, we have another coast-to-coast one just the year after that. It's going to start in Northern California. It's going to arc its way down through the middle of Florida.
The big story today is going to be travel, getting out of these places.
And the traffic jams tonight.
That's right.
Into our 10 o'clock news. We probably will still see those traffic jams. Our Drew Anderson, meteorologist, who's on the roof right now with folks watching the eclipse, he had talked about, I think he watched it in Tennessee the last time, and had talked about 14-hour traffic jams trying to get out of specific cities during that year when the solar eclipse happened. So hopefully people have enough gas in the tank to get out.
Yeah, and you know, the letdown after being so pumped for this moment, now they got to drive into traffic. So we'll be keeping an eye on traffic and travel tonight here on the 10 o'clock news. We got full 90 minutes of news coming up at 5 o'clock as well. But we are going to wrap up our coverage here in just a moment here on Fox Local and on FOX29. Stick around, we're back after this.
There have been solar eclipse parties happening all over our area, and this is just another spectacular view of one solar eclipse happening right now. Look at those beautiful colors. Our doctor here who's joined us on set, Dr. Scott Engel with Villanova, tells us that this is the filtering of the cameras, the lens out there, as we've been watching a number of views across the country. So one of those parties happening, Greg Payne is at that one at the Franklin Institute. Have folks started to filter out, if you will, or are people still hanging around for these last views until about 4:35 this afternoon?
Yeah, well, Sheba, people have left, but also they got a nice little treat because just a few minutes ago, I keep trying to look up, but a couple minutes ago, the clouds actually moved on, and you were able to actually see the eclipse. You were able to go underneath this tent, and you were able to witness it right there. And I want to introduce Ms. Jermaine. Jermaine is from North Philly, and Jermaine, if you could talk to us a little bit about your experience, you know, how was it for you?
Well, first of all, it was fun coming out with my niece Bella and my nephew. Exciting because this won't happen again for a long time, and just to say 5 years from now, won't say 30, that we were there and what we did, create the memory, and we got to see the moon speed across through the cloud cover. They told us it was okay to look with the naked eye, and so that was exciting to see the movement because it's like, oh, this is really happening. Yes.
Very cool, very cool. And one of the things, you know, being somebody from the Philadelphia area, being in North Philly, I mean, how is it for you to just witness all Philadelphians around here, just people all together just celebrating this?
I think it's great. I always bring my nieces and nephews out to events like this so they can see unity, so they can see people getting together. This is Philly. We have our grit, we have our edge, but when there are times for people to come together and just celebrate, we don't care where you're from. We'll make you Philly made for that day, and you can come out and celebrate with us. And we enjoy networking, meeting strangers. I guess people from Philadelphia never meet strangers.
Very good, Jermaine. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. But yeah, no, it's just a really exciting event, and especially when those clouds moved, it was a lot of excitement for folks. Sheba?
Well, we're glad you were able to see something out there. You and the large crowd gathered at the Franklin Institute along the Ben Franklin Parkway there. Greg, thank you. We'll be back.
And that's a wrap on this Eclipse 2024.
This phenomenal solar eclipse day of 2024. The highlight for me, Mike making his dreams come true in Rochester, New York, seeing just like the flick of a switch, complete darkness.
We saw an engagement, we saw a wedding. What a moment. And we continue on Fox Local on TV.
And just like that, so we have been doing coverage pretty much all day. We have been various places across the country. We've continued to focus on the great eclipse And now I guess we take a step back, we exhale, it kind of fades off. Dr. Scott Angle has agreed to stay with us as we talk a little bit more. I'm Bill Anderson. This is Fox 29 Live, Fox Local. We're continuing the discussion of this great event. I'm saying that, and I'm not being cynical, but I say it almost like there's so much excitement.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see how many people gathered for the crowds out there. Everybody was hoping to get a really good view of what is at least a very, very rare event. I mean, not going to be here for like 20 years, at least 21 years, depending on where you are in the country. So, yeah, it's a phenomenal thing to actually observe directly and feel like you're really a part of it.
We're going to break it down. I'm going to find out if it lived up to expectations for you, but I have been watching our Mike Jarek all day, who planned his dream trip to follow the eclipse. He is there in New York, in Rochester. So, Mike, was it everything that you expected?
Well, first of all, I apologize. The band is still playing for the 3 people that are still here. And I want to introduce my special guest. Please tell me your name and title.
I'm Hannah Young. I'm the British Consul General to New York.
How about that? Fancy stuff to close out this segment. What are you doing here in America?
I'm a British diplomat based here, and I'm up here having just seen the eclipse with my family, my colleagues.
You wanted to see an eclipse?
I wanted to see an eclipse in Rochester. It was a little cloudy, but it got very dark.
And now her ride's here, I think. We got choppers, we got people on speakers. Anyway, did you enjoy the time?
It was amazing.
Even though you didn't see the sun?
Well, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We're not going to get a total eclipse in the UK until 2090.
2090?
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to see another one in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the UK.
Are you enjoying your time living in the States?
Oh, it's fantastic. And the UK and the US have such an amazing relationship.
Yeah, a great bond.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't see the sun, so I'm going to do something for you.
Right.
Hold this.
Okay. Oh, wow.
This is the sun. Now look into the lens.
Okay.
Marshall?
Wow.
Totality.
Amazing.
How about that?
Thank you so much for giving me that experience.
Now I charge $1.
Here you go.
Thank you. Have a great time here in
Thanks
America.
so much.
Thank you. I'm making money on this.
Look at this. You got a whole plan going on out there. So, Mike, your recap. Like, you've been there all day. We're kind of talking about everything that happened. Some people joking, some people saying once in a lifetime experience. What was it for you?
Well, I saw the one in Philly, the partial in 2017. I was impressed with that. But to tell you the truth, when we got here, it was clear skies. Could they be louder? Seriously. And nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. Anyway, so it was clear when we got here today, and it got cloudier and cloudier. And then by the time it was time for the eclipse, you couldn't see it. So we just wandered around looking for different ideas, and I saw a wedding veil pop up. So we talked to them, and then all of a sudden, when that wedding ceremony was over, totality hit. And it went from about like this to boom, dark, like in the middle of the night kind of dark, like in a split second. And it didn't come back for about 2 minutes. So we're sneaking out of that ceremony. We're walking around. We see a couple behind a tree. He's down on one knee. She's crying. So we go up to them, and they got engaged.
All right.
Why'd you want to do it during an eclipse?
So my last name is Star.
Oh.
So obviously.
Starry night.
And we like space stuff. So.
Yeah. The whimsy of space is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the stars, the sky, and he loved all the science of it. So
Where'd you meet?
We met through some friends at bar trivia in Corning.
Bar trivia. Who won?
Not us the first time,
Was it
but
Quizzo
eventually
or something like that?
we did. We did win with a Princess Diaries question.
Nice. Well, you're big winners today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Nicely done. The best of luck to you. Yeah, I had to say I was disappointed all day as it got more cloudy. But then when I saw the two people, I went to their wedding ceremony, and then saw people get engaged, and then it went immediately dark. Like, put that light on me harder.
It was a moment. You got a special moment.
Like that, and click. You flick that thing off.
It was a special moment. It has been, your coverage has been outstanding.
It saved the whole stinking trip. The 6 hours up and the 6 hours back, and it was worth it, those few seconds.
At least you got a band, man. Enjoy the band for a little bit.
Of course they've stopped.
Right. All right, Mike, we'll check in with you. Are we done? Are we letting Mike go? Like, Mike can go ahead and go home. Greg Payne is out there. We're going to get an update with him. And then, Dr. Angle, we do want to get your take on everything you saw. Greg, man, it looks like the party is still going with you over there at the Franklin Institute. I'm asking everybody their review of everything that we experienced today. What's yours?
Well, listen, I don't want to hear anything from Mr. Mike Jarek because of the fact that he had a great time. Us, I mean, we had to deal with this large cloud, the largest cloud ever, come over right during the period of time. But I gotta admit, afterwards, when the clouds did eventually move, and people have seen it in the last like 2-3 minutes, a really, really cool sight. And I'm here with a gentleman named Alan. He's here from Philadelphia, Lafayette Hill. And Alan, if you could talk a little bit about your experience, how was it for you?
It's great. It's always amazing. It was a beautiful day, and then we saw the beginning of the eclipse, and of course right at totality, it was clouded over, you couldn't see everything. It was like a Phillies game. Everyone bailed out to go, beat the traffic home. But then the clouds opened back up, and you saw the end of the eclipse, and it was pretty great. It's a great event down here.
And now you were mentioning with the fact that you didn't see it through the sunglasses. You actually saw it through the tent here. If you can talk about how cool the tent is.
Well, I saw them through both, but the tents here where they put a little solar screen on them. Derek Pitts, who is the astronomer here, is an amazing man. It was his idea, and it was an amazing thing to see it through there. You didn't have to wear glasses. Dozens of people got to see it without glasses, and it's actually a really cool experience because you can just look up. You don't have to have the bulky glasses on your face. Yeah, it was an amazing thing. I give kudos to the Franklin Institute for what they did.
Last thing I'll ask you is, I mean, of course, as you had mentioned, the clouds coming in, and the fact that you see so many folks, though, from Philly coming out to celebrate this, I mean, how does it feel just to see this amount of Philadelphians out just to celebrate?
It's great. It's great to see everyone who's amazed, and that they're, it is a great thing that people are interested in science, and hopefully they'll learn something and maybe learn, go on to learn more. But it was good that everyone was out here together. It would have been great if we all saw totality, but there were people that were still applauding, and, there was a great feeling here. It was like a good thing. It's like when the Pope was here, or it was a good event. Everyone's feeling good. No shots fired. So that's always a good thing, right?
Alan, thank you very much. No, I appreciate that very much. And kind of exactly what Alan had mentioned, I mean, that's the thing that you've been hearing from a lot of people that live around this area is just the fact that, it's cool just to see Philadelphia all together. I got to admit, Bill, did have an opportunity. Had a little rough time when I had the glasses, but as Alan mentioned, those tents over there, they're actually really cool, and we'll actually take a little walk just to give you kind of an idea. And I know our photographer, he was able to get a good shot underneath, but you come right underneath the tent here, and right above, you'll see there is like this filter here, and you were able to get a very good view of the solar eclipse. So it is very cool. And actually, let's get you a shot right here. And you can see that there are still people underneath that want to get that quick view because it's still happening. There's still stuff that you can witness at this point in time, even though the peak moment was covered by clouds. You can still see what's going on at this point in time. So it's a really, really cool moment, especially for the folks in Philly, because I mean, you have people from all over. We interviewed somebody from Bangladesh, Canada, all over the place to witness this. I mean, they were originally going to the WWE, but being able to witness it here in Philly, they were really excited about it.
Look, you got WrestleMania and an eclipse all in the same weekend. Like that's all good.
Yeah. I know, you just check the boxes off. WWE, WrestleMania, you got that, 40th, it being the biggest, the extra large XL WrestleMania, and then you got this, checking off things off the bucket list there, Bill.
Love it. Good stuff. Appreciate the energy. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Angle, it has been interesting because when I first walked in, and behind the scenes, I was actually joking with you. I kind of walked in and went, okay, like that was it. But the energy throughout the day. And I mean, that gentleman Greg was talking to compared it to the Pope being here. This was historic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always great when a bunch of people can come together and simply enjoy either the field you work in, the science you study, things like that. Astronomy has a lot of public interest, but it's mainly from images that the Hubble Space Telescope or the James Webb Space Telescope will produce. But this is one where you can simply stand on the ground and just look up under some sort of filter and just enjoy it in public, like we saw with a bunch of groups.
All over the world.
Yeah, exactly. It was an amazing experience. It's something great to see.
The view in Mexico that we're looking at. And we've had these different kind of the shots and the video from all across the country, the watch parties, the things that were going on. So you share that level of excitement, even as, like, I was up on the roof right before I came in here, and the cloud cover was heavy. You couldn't see a lot directly, but with these types of shots, I was where it was going on. But this actually is Philly right now. So what are we seeing here? It's kind of moving on out.
Exactly. You still see that slightly eaten cookie view of the sun right now, almost towards the end. You can see right now the clouds still moving over it, but obviously they've parted enough that you get pretty clear look. I mean, very clear look at what's going on. Depending on the exposure of the camera, things like that, in the previous view that we saw coming from Mexico, we still saw that sunspot right in the middle of the sun. From this one, it seems to be dwarfed a little bit by just how bright the sun is. Every once in a while we see clouds pass over. You can get a little glimpse of it. But yeah, still fascinating things to see if you're observing the event as it kind of fades off.
So the cynical folks, the people up on the roof, the people who the clouds came in, when I walked in, this was not, even with the challenges, you were expecting clouds.
Yeah.
Even with that, you still view this and you still have the smile and the excitement.
Yeah. No, it was still great. I mean, you saw the number of people out there, and they were all out there simply to enjoy it.
Now, just because of what we saw or because of the whole historic nature and the impact on science?
Yeah, there have been, solar eclipses have been used for a number of large discoveries. They didn't know about the existence of helium until it was observed during a solar eclipse, because you can see it in some of those pink features that jut out just above, what you call the eclipse surface or the moon's surface there. So we didn't know about that existence until we saw it during a solar eclipse. Named it helium because of the Greek god Helios, because it was associated with the sun, its discovery. In 1919, observations of stars as they went behind the sun during an eclipse was used to prove general theory of relativity. So there have been a lot of landmark scientific events associated with these, and we're still studying the ways in which stars can move behind the sun just to get better and better data, better and better measurements of the same effect here. The way that their light can bend around the sun, so you can see them even though the star is technically also being eclipsed. It's still behind the sun, but its light rays bend around it so that we can see it.
Telling me we need to take a break. I do want to ask a question, because I've been following most of the day, but earlier this morning I was out and about. The whole don't look into it, like don't look directly into it, and you should never look directly into the sun.
No.
I am not a scientist. Explain to us why looking into something that is being blocked is actually more damaging than not.
It's interesting because, yes, it is dimming substantially, but the dimming is the danger in this case. Ordinarily, if you were to look up at the sun, when it's all being presented to us, there's so much visible, so much optical light being given off that you would instantly feel it hurting your eyes.
And look
so
away.
You can only look for small bits, maybe even a second, if you have to look somewhere else. During an eclipse, because most of that optical light is being blocked, humans are comfortable enough to simply stare at such an event, but the light that is still filtering around the moon from the atmosphere of the sun's outer layers, that is some of the most damaging type of light that's given off. So that's where the danger lurks.
We'll continue on. This is Fox Local, Fox 29 Live. Dr. Scott Angle analyzing everything that's going on with the eclipse today. We'll be right back. Stay with us. So it got pretty seriously dark right there in San Antonio. You could see that impact. as we take a look at some of the parties that are going on all across the country. Before we go up on the roof and check in with Drew and Kathy, Dr. Engel, the explanation you were giving me, again, about how it could impact people and why they were concerned about children being outside. Because it's so dim, you could actually look at it long enough to do the damage to your eyes.
Yeah, you would feel comfortable enough simply staring at the sun while it's being eclipsed, and that's where the danger really lurks.
And by the time you realized you should stop, it's too late.
Exactly. Untold amounts of damage could have already been done by the time you figured, maybe I shouldn't be staring at this.
Yeah, wow. All right, so here's Philadelphia. We continue to see as the eclipse kind of wrapping up and moving on. I wonder, Kathy and Drew are up on the roof. I wonder if they are seeing anything. They've got the glasses. They're up there analyzing everything. Guys, it almost looks like it got sunny since we all came down from the roof.
It did. Remember, everyone was on the roof during totality, and we're sitting here going, oh, okay, where is it? Where is it? And it was cloudy, and then a lot of our colleagues left, and we said, wait a minute, because you had the whole second half of the shadow to move out of the way of the sun, and that's what we've seen a lot of. But Bill, there are still a lot of clouds out here, so we're viewing in and out of the clouds.
So Drew, tell me, I know that you can hear me, tell me what's going on. So you're seeing it now. Like, we just saw the look on our cameras, but if you put your glasses on now, you can actually see it now because some of the clouds have cleared out, see it moving on out.
Yeah, so Kathy and I are looking at it. So just a moment ago, we had those breaks in the clouds that she was mentioning, but as I look right now, do you see Kathy? I don't see it.
No, they're back over.
But just as you started and said hello to us, I did notice a little bit of the sun, but the clouds are about to hide it. But here's the thing. It's more special, I feel, with the clouds hiding it, and then all of a sudden appears, and it's like, oh, yay!
Yeah, it is spectacular. Even if you catch a piece of it, we knew we were going to be dancing around clouds today, so even if you saw part of the whole thing, it was a big deal because there were a lot of clouds even in the Northeast and the Midwest, as we saw in upstate New York where Mike was. So even a little sliver is a joy today, I guess. It's a win.
And here was the best part, when all of our friends and colleagues came up to the roof and we got to experience this together. It was so cool.
Yeah, they talk about that as around the country, it's such a bonding experience, and we're looking at the next eclipse, obviously that's going to be in the United States, it's going to be decades, and then elsewhere, even in a couple of years, there's one in Spain, but the path of totality is very narrow, and it's in some very unpopulated areas, and then it goes over the ocean, and then just a sliver over Iceland. So there's not a lot of property when you think of how big the world is, and it's a lot of ocean. So to get a path of totality over most of the United States is insane. So this was obviously one for the record books.
So Bill, can you get us some tickets to Spain for the next one?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I got you. I've got all that influence. I'm going to go ahead and tell them, go ahead and send you on over to Spain. Maybe we should all go.
Yeah.
Why not?
We should book it now, though.
You guys, both scientists, this is something that you guys do. Was it, and I keep asking everybody this, you talked about how it was special, it's historic. Did it live up to your expectations even with the cloud issues?
What do you think?
Well, for me personally, I wanted to see how dark it got because I went in 2017 to totality, and that was incredible to see how the sun had those waves leaving it, what's called coronas and charged gases. That was amazing for me. So I wanted to see how dark does it get, and wow, did it just astound me here to see how dark it got. It felt maybe about half an hour before sunset. And even what I noticed, we have some lights right now because it's part of the magic of TV to make us look so good. I couldn't get over how bright the lights were because right now the sun's washing it out as the sun does come back out for us to see.
Now.
But there it is. There's only, look, so right now you can't see it. There's only a sliver of the moon blocking the sun.
I would say, like, what do you think, 5 to 10%, maybe 6%? It's just a little teeny bite. That's just about it.
Tell you what, hold the mic for a second. I'll get my Post-it notes to show everyone at home what it looks like.
All right.
We actually
and as far
have
as I'm concerned, Bill, as I continue to look at the eclipse as it's ending here, I was up on this roof during the annular eclipse in 2017 when our colleague Drew was in totality in Nashville, and it was spectacular. Let's see.
So
yes,
Drew's giving us a demonstration. We do have a video.
Yeah, it's just a little
of what
tiny
it actually looks
bite.
like.
Hardly noticeable, almost like a tiny little bite, like a Pac-Man, just a sliver. But yeah, I mean, even in 2017, that was an annular eclipse. We had about 79% of the sun shaded by the moon, and it was spectacular. It did get dark, it did get cold. It was an August day, so it was really hot on this roof, and then it got real cool. So that was spectacular. But yes, I think this lived up to expectations.
And you know what was cool, Bill? All of a sudden the birds got quiet. I heard only 1 or 2 chirps compared to now I hear plenty of chirps. That was neat here as well.
Yeah, it got very, very quiet, and they do say that the animals know first. Even with other phenomena like tsunamis, they run to higher ground first. So there is that innate clock with them that they know sometimes before we know.
Probably feel some of that energy. We saw that firsthand with the earthquake, because when there's an earthquake, it's usually 3 sets of waves. We traditionally don't feel the first 2 unless it's super strong. Usually the guys out west might feel one of those first 2 pieces. It's like when you put, I would say, a stone in a pond. You see 3 ripples. Usually it's the 3rd ripple that we feel. But I heard reports of animals feeling or kind of being a little like that, being a little like, what's going on, right before the earthquake actually happened.
Yeah, they know before we know. It's absolutely amazing. I wish they could talk and tell us. Let's do one more check for Bill here. Okay, Bill.
We've got the view. We can see it. So it's just now, just a little bit left.
Getting back to normal. What do you think, Drew?
So cool. I love that you guys are able to see this in real time with us as well. That is so cool to have this experience.
Clouds, but the sun's popping back out, so we'll get like one last look and then save those glasses for about 20 years. We'll need them again.
Yeah,
we'll dust them off.
Guys, we got to leave it there.
Snow shovel.
Thank you very much. We'll check back in. We need to take a break, but it's cool. We are kind of seeing it all happen and continuing the process. Cool stuff. We're going to come back, speak with Dr. Engel. They're talking about the animals and how animals and everything respond. It'll be interesting to check in on. We will take a break, and maybe I can find some cool glasses like Kathy and Drew got. I got these, but can't do anything with this because you can't see anything. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Solar Eclipse 2024 as we continue to kind of take a look around the area, some of the events that happened throughout the day, watch parties, different things taking place. It really was kind of cool. It was cool. Everywhere, and we're just kind of at the tail end of everything that was happening here in our area with the view that we just showed. Dr. Scott Engel is with us, and we were talking a little bit during the break and throughout the day about the impact that the eclipse may have on animals. People telling stories about animals mating and what have you. It does have an impact, but you think it's actually more stressful than relaxing or calming?
Well, in the feed from Rochester, you saw just how rapidly it went from still being fairly bright to just dark. When animals get quickly thrown into darkness like that, from what I understand, there's a large observation, just increased anxiety in many of them for not knowing why the normal rhythm of their day got thrown off, and all of a sudden now it's essentially nighttime around them. Some animals try to go to wherever they'll be sleeping for the night, assuming, well, nighttime has now arrived, so I guess it's bedtime as well. But yes, for the most part, just a lot of confusion, a lot of not knowing exactly what to do, because now it's all of a sudden nighttime. They didn't expect it so soon.
So the signaling throws them off.
Exactly.
And that can lead to additional stress, because then shortly thereafter, you might be in a situation like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Exactly. It's confusing on both ways, going into the eclipse, coming out of the eclipse. Yeah.
There are people, and the excitement level of doing all of this. I saw a couple people we interviewed throughout the day that were eclipse chasers, kind of following around. It's just a fascination? Is there a science to that? Because I think part of the excitement for all of us is that we won't see it again.
Yeah.
If you're going around seeing it every time it exists, like, what's that about?
It just, well, it play out differently for each person. I think a lot of it, though, is simply to be there, like we saw in Rochester, with that darkness when it actually happens, when you're in the totality, and knowing that you went there for the special event, out there with a large group of people, depending on exactly where you decide to view it from. So it is a gathering event, exactly. But also to enjoy something that is rare, that is amazing, because it's happening up there, in space.
Couple of looks. We continue to follow around. Now this is video, so this is what happened a little bit earlier. That's Carbondale, Illinois. We just saw Arkansas. So you're seeing the different views from places all across the country as they got that totality and the sliver and what have you.
Learning new words. Little sliver there. Yeah.
Our Shayna Ferreira has been out at a watch party throughout the day today. When it was over, Shayna, they cleared out. People were like, I'm out. I've been here all day.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, I think the best of it has come and gone, unfortunately, but I can tell you that it was quite the crowd. I mean, well over 750 people lined this area here at Westchester University, young and old. And also, if you're familiar with Westchester University, you know that it's very residential. So you had a lot of the neighbors coming out with their lawn chairs to see it. And again, just 90% coverage got quite the crowd. And I was talking to a professor that was here manning one of the telescopes. She said the last time they had a solar eclipse viewing party, if you will, they had well over 1,500 people. This is what she had to say about just the rarity of this whole event, and also some of the folks that came out before they cleared out, as you can see behind me.
It's very rare for that alignment to happen. Even when it does happen, it only happens for a very specific piece of the Earth. The next one that we're going to get in the United States isn't until 2044.
I'm excited to see the eclipse with everybody. It's kind of like a concert where, like, if you're going and like listening to the music, it's one thing, but like seeing it with other people, it just like brings the energy to another level.
And yeah, so the crowds were there. Even kids that had the chance to come out, had a half day, got to come with their hoagies from Wawa, sit down, take it all in. And it was actually pretty exciting to see, Bill. I hate that you can't really see much behind me now that things have come and gone and kids pretty much got bored and said, we're out of here. But it was quite the time. And this, again, was just 90%. So you can imagine how more exciting and more of a spectacle it likely was up in Rochester, where Mike Jarek has been all day. But yeah, definitely something that folks made time for here out in Westchester. Young, old, students, neighbors, all came out with their lawn chairs, their blankets, ready to go, and it was pretty exciting to see.
Shayna, they were excited in the anticipation and the build-up and hundreds of people who were there. How were they when they were leaving? Did they still have that excitement, or was it kind of a, okay?
It was kind of a, okay, next. You know, it came and went. I think the excitement was there. I think a lot of folks got to see, I guess, the peak, if you will, and there was a lot of oohs and ahs, and, you know, folks lined up early because they wanted to get those free solar glasses that are obviously a hot commodity when you have a day like today. So they sold out, if you will, pretty quickly. And really all of the excitement was that quick spark of the moment where I would say the peak happened, and it was you would have thought the Queen of England was walking through, the way there was cheers and oohing and eyeing. So it was pretty cool.
And then when she left, they were like, okay, we're out. Thank you, Shayna. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Check back with you. And people have been kind of celebrating this, looking at this all across the country. Connor Hansen's in Buffalo, and we actually had you on as it was getting darker. So you felt kind of a major impact of all of this.
Yeah, Bill, I'll tell you what, it was very cool. Just about an hour has passed now since we had our totality here. And luckily, we did get enough of a break in the clouds where everybody here got to see that total eclipse. It was something we were really worried about all day. It was mostly cloudy throughout the morning, early afternoon. We got a couple of breaks to see the partial eclipse, but just as it was hitting totality, it cleared up and we can see the total ring around the moon, and it was just such a cool experience. Now, the full eclipse is over now here in Buffalo, and a lot of people have left, but this entire park was packed with people, and even though you couldn't see anything, it was completely pitch black. You heard everybody yelling and screaming and reacting to it. It was just so cool to see and experience with a large crowd here. Just to like describe the feeling, the temperature dropped about 10 degrees. You hear everything go silent. You know, wildlife has strange reactions to it. We noticed when the sun came back out, we're standing near a pond here, and we had all these bugs flying around us as if they thought it was nighttime and came out. So just super different, you know, super rare. We spoke to some people here who had traveled from all over just to see this, and, you know, you're really glad they could actually see some of the total eclipse, not go home empty-handed, so to speak, even though it still would have been cool to experience just that darkness alone. You know, people traveling hours and hours to get here, spending money on hotels and things like that. We know thousands, if not a million people traveled to New York State just to see the eclipse. So it's been very, very interesting to see, and hopefully everyone can get home safely now and there's not too much traffic like the state has been warning about.
We appreciate the time you're spending with us. That's very cool. You got a chance to experience it, and it sounds like it was a great event there. We thank you. We'll check in just a little bit, and we'll be back. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Solar Eclipse 2024 coverage here on Fox Local. Mike Jarrett putting in hours today. The eclipse has moved on, and yet he is still making friends. Hey,
Yes.
Mike.
I finally made it to the stage here in Rochester, New York, at the Rochester Museum and Science Center. And you and I met at what, 5 this morning?
5 this morning.
5 this morning, on top of the planetarium. Hillary Olson is in charge of this whole thing, basically. The CEO of this complex.
I'm the president and CEO of the Rochester Museum and Science Center, which is the museum, the planetarium, and the Coming Nature
And
Center.
where were you before this?
Oh, I was at the Milwaukee Public Museum, and before that, I was at the Franklin Institute Science Museum in Philadelphia, PA.
Philadelphia. So, we didn't see the sun
We
per
didn't
se.
see, right, but we got to experience totality.
Yeah, I deem this a highly successful day.
So I was at the eclipse in 2017 and it got dark-ish.
Yeah.
This experience was incredibly dark because of the clouds. It was great. So yes, highly successful, thousands of people, everybody interested in science, and we win it.
And the festival went on for days. Yeah. So even though, like, what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that was all great. It brought a lot of money into the city.
Well, and money into the city, and tourists into the city, and people engaged in science everywhere. So,
Yeah.
and the restaurants are
good.
full, and the hotels are full. Everybody's happy.
Airbnbs are full.
Yep.
So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What's that in your hand?
This might be champagne.
Okay.
I don't know. It's still, is it before 5? It might not be champagne.
Well, thank you for having us. It was
you, Mike.
quite
It's
the
been
experience.
great.
And you're right. It went from about this light to dark
Complete dark.
in 5 seconds or less.
Yeah.
That
it was incredible.
It was incredible.
Never seen anything like it. Even though I've seen an eclipse, I never saw anything
Yeah.
like that.
And then we had somebody get married, somebody got engaged.
I didn't even know that was. We sort of saw that at the
Yeah.
end of the parking lot,
Yeah.
but I love
We just stumbled into it.
Yes.
And then there was a baby born over there in the bushes.
What?
No, that didn't happen. I saw somebody conceive a child over there behind that tree.
No.
That was Jared, actually.
No.
Thank you.
Sure that didn't happen. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you again. It was
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Thanks for all the help.
coming.
You got it. Bill?
Yes, sir. I don't have any influence around here, Mike, but I feel like after 12 hours, you guys have earned some champagne. Like, you can go ahead, check it out, call it a day, and we will see you soon.
I think we have some hits in the 5.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see you at 5.
Well, never mind then. We're going to take a break, and we'll see you in a little bit.
I'm out of here.
Solar Eclipse 2024 on Fox Local, and we continue to move all over the country, hearing the stories of what people have experienced. Max Gordon is in Cleveland. Right now, it just looks like a bright, sunny day, but that hasn't been the case for the last hour or so.
No, definitely not. The eclipse actually just really wrapped up in earnest in the past 15 minutes. The moon making its way to the northeast of us, now heading across Canada, I believe. But this was really one of those moments as a reporter where, you know, I was live on Fox Weather throughout totality, and I was no longer really a reporter, a journalist. I was just a guy experiencing something and just sort of talking through my own thoughts. I think a lot of people really experienced this, and it was an emotional moment for a lot of people. You know, when totality hit here in Cleveland at around 3:13 p.m. Eastern Time, it was so dramatic to see how quickly it got dark all around us. But then we saw on the horizon, you can see Lake Erie off to our north, and then you've got the Cleveland skyline to our south. You just saw this ring of sunset all around us. And it was just a magical moment where everyone was staring up at the sun. A moment, you know, that I'll never forget, where everyone could take off their eclipse glasses and stare at the sun with their naked eye. You saw the corona of the sun, a prominence on the southern edge of the sun, jutting out with all the solar activity. It was amazing. It was one of those times when you realize that we're all just kind of really small, to see a celestial event like this. Not to get too big and grandiose on you guys, but, it's one of those moments where you realize that we can share things together, as a nation, where we're not divided by anything, where we can all enjoy a really important natural moment together. So, yeah, it was incredible. It was my first solar eclipse, and it almost seemed like it wasn't going to happen here in Cleveland because of the weather. We had some rain move in this morning. Luckily, it dissipated. We were worried about cloud coverage. Luckily, we only had some high clouds during the solar eclipse, so it all came together, and it was a really beautiful event here in Cleveland, Ohio.
I think that's cool. I think it's cool, and it speaks to how people are experiencing it differently all throughout the country. Like, even with some of the cloud issues we've had at various places, it really seems like it had that profound impact on you that some people were expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of our anchors even live on air broke down crying. I didn't necessarily have that exact same reaction. I was just kind of talking through it, saying whatever really came to mind. I probably wasn't the most eloquent on TV on Fox Weather at the time, but it was one of those things that really does kind of leave you lost for words, because how do you describe something that you've never seen before and might never see again?
I like it. I appreciate it. You're just real in the expression of it, so that's always a good thing. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You have a good one. We need to take a break, and when we come back, I want to ask you, Dr. Engel, about that whole comment. Even if you didn't see it, you experienced it. I think that Max was just talking about that. We'll find out your take on that when we come right back. Solar Eclipse 2024 on Fox Local. And our coverage continues as we wrap the Solar Eclipse 2024. Dr. Scott Engel from Villanova University. And it's been going on all throughout the day, but there was a comment that was made that both of us kind of went, that even if you didn't see it, you experienced it.
Yeah, that statement really summed it up perfectly. Out there in some pretty good cloud cover at Rochester, where they couldn't see the actual eclipse happen, but that dramatic darkening that took place, that was it. That was, that's what the event was about in terms of on the ground effects, and everyone was very, very impressed. Even here in the booth, everyone was impressed by just what an event that was. So yeah, even without the type of clear skies that you were hoping for, it was an amazing thing to witness.
Emotional for people.
Exactly.
That part surprised me a little. I'm like, wow, you were moved to tears as they were watching this historic event. Again, looking at more video from throughout the day as things have happened, this one in Mexico. All right, it is 4:50. We are into the home stretch, but we decided, he's there. He's only been there since 5 a.m. We should go ahead and check in with Mike Jarrett just one last time in our segment. Okay. And Mike is still making friends.
Danielle. This is Danielle. Yeah, this is Danielle. We've been together all day. Can you run down to the other end?
I got you.
Okay, here, go. Have you seen these things, Bill? The whisper dish?
No.
You can simply whisper into this thing. Now, come up close. Danielle, you ready?
I can hear you.
Okay, now look, just whispering. Danielle.
Just because it was cloudy doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Just because it's cloudy doesn't mean it didn't happen. I love you.
Mwah. Love you.
Mwah.
It was good meeting you.
Okay.
Good meeting you.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that something?
That's impressive.
Look how far apart it is.
All right, I'm not even
she's
gonna
not
ask how
amplified
that
at all. I don't get it either. But she doesn't have a microphone on. Isn't that wild?
That's very cool. Now that had nothing to do with today, right? That's just part of the science setup.
No, I'm sick of the eclipse. I don't want to ever talk about the eclipse again. So.
Well, but you got a couple more conversations about the eclipse.
Brandy. Oh, sorry. Still on the air.
It's time for somebody to go ahead and send Mike Jarrett home. Like we're expanding this discussion. Now other people are going to get in trouble.
Now, Brandy said she wanted to talk to us, so she is a reporter for Fox
Fox
Fox Weather. Yeah, Fox Weather.
So Brandy's got
Yeah,
like
I got her confused with
2
somebody.
minutes because we're signing off in 2 minutes. I don't think Brandy's going to make
2
it, Mike.
minutes. I don't know. She's giving that bye-bye nod.
So
And
people
that
have been
kind of
talking
pause, and
about,
then-
the couple different reporters we talked to across the country are talking about how emotional it was for them. You're sick of it now, but was this an emotional event for you?
Say that again. I was watching Brandy. the emotional when it went dark.
Was this an emotional event for you through all of this?
Yeah, when it went dark. The rest of the day, I think I was just feeling some kind of pain, probably from the breakfast burrito. But in that moment, everything changed. Yeah, it was really cool to be here. It got dark like that.
Mike, as you know, I have huge authority around here, so I'm going to give you like a solid 10-minute break before you have to be back for the 5 o'clock news.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hurry up, Brandy.
This is Brandy. Brandy
Hello,
Campbell.
everybody.
Fox Weather.
Yes, we just got off air.
Who
We're
had the
so
best
busy
weather
out
in the
here.
country? Who saw it best?
You know, I think it might have been Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know it was. There's 70,000 people at the track.
They got pretty darn lucky,
Yeah.
you know, and they knew for a while.
I know.
So, are we gonna have like a pity party and just cry?
We're gonna go find maybe a cocktail lounge and cry.
and just cry a little bit.
It was cool when it got dark, though.
Yeah,
It
it
was great.
was. I got video on my GoPro, and you can
Yeah.
just see as the crowd just counted down from 10.
Let's go look at it.
You want? Okay,
Yeah,
let's
I
go
haven't
look
seen
at it.
enough. I haven't talked enough about eclipses. I'll see you in the 5.
All right, Mike, thank you for your entire day, and we will see you back at the 5. Dr. Scott Angle, thank you very much. We expected that we would be talking just a little bit, and then there was so much, and we extended and extended, and you agreed to stay with us. We absolutely appreciate you.
No, thank you so much. It was great being here.
In summary, this was a cool event, all that you expected.
Yeah, exactly. It worked out well, even under cloudy skies. So, yeah, it's everything you could hope for.
I like it. Appreciate you. And appreciate all of you. But we're not done yet. So the 5 o'clock news is coming up shortly. We will have a recap of all of the different things that you have seen, different reporters, people from across the country, and so much more. So we thank you all over. Are you ready for me to get out of here, Aaron? Ready to toss the mic on over to the news? They're telling me we've got a solid 15 seconds, so let's be professional with it.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you. And on behalf of everyone all over the country who has covered this, thank you. We'll see you at 5.